So evening, hope everyone's okay. Can you hear me alright? So we're having a little bit of a different stream this evening. I'm afraid there's a little bit less running because I am working on a running video. So but there's a few things to go through. So including this. So Luke's channel. Hello David. So I'm afraid it's just a shortish live stream this week. Last week we did a longer one and next week will be a long one as well. So no doubt tonight will probably end up long anyway. But we're not doing much running, I'm afraid, this evening. So like that class 31 Tesla rig, yes, lovely. So that's one of my dad's photos, that. So how is everyone anyway? You coping okay? So some of you may have seen, did take a photo of this. This is one of the new snow ploughs. This is the Old Oak Common one. And this is from Flange Way. You're supposed to get them in pairs, I only got one. So it's 6 wheels. Nice bit of kit. It's just something a little bit different to the layout. You can see it's got a hunt coupling on there. And that's being propelled by class 20. So, afternoon, Neil. Afternoon J94, Gary, Chris Hudden, hello. Can't hear for the Looney engine. Well, it's only on for a second or so. So, what we've got coming through with that, we've got our inspection saloon. We did one of these as a giveaway ages ago actually. It's in EWS. Gary won it actually at Leicester TMD. So this is ours. It's got the lighting and everything. I've got to weather it yet. I've not got round to that. Need to be closer to the mic. It's because the locomotive's overtaking me a bit, but it'll be off in a second. So I'm just going to move it out of the way. Yeah, I'll knock the sound off. Hopefully you can hear me a bit closer, better now. So there's a bit less running today, I'm afraid. So, and we've only got the 2 camera angles. So one thing you have to be careful, if you've got the AWS ramps like I've got there, it catches them slightly. It's that low to the... So, hello James, hope you're okay. So anyway, right. Let's move this 20 out of the way. We've got quite an evening this evening. Still going strong, good. So that's, I'm just going to stop the 20 over there. Oh, sound's decided to come back on. Sorry, you always have a problem when you live stream. I don't know. Right, okay, let's get into things, and we've got a few boxes. So, so nice class 20. Yes, it is. It's a Batman class 20. I've had it for a while actually. It's quite a few years old, this one. It's got the old tablet catcher insets on. So in the 60s they had tablet catchers. It's also got one of our drivers in there as well. So, but I do love a good class 20. I need a flanger or two. So I need to get another one of these. So the front flange way, they're not too. I think they're about 30-something pounds. But you've got a little cab on the back of the door, even a little window. Maybe you could put a little light in it. So, but nice bit of kit. Okay. Should be starting on the farm tomorrow. Hey! Good tasks. So, I have been working on some videos to come out, so not just live streams. So that's why we're not doing much running this evening. So, which one... So, picked up 4 of the new Hornby Mark IIIs. They are a little bit different, and we'll be looking why shortly. What was your favourite? Was it the GWR? Many of you do like. Or the Cross Country? Personally, my favourite's the Cross Country. I do know the ScotRail ones are coming out. Do love a growler. So, but yeah, I know the ScotRail ones are coming out. They're not out yet. Now, Hornby haven't released all of them. There is, if to my memory, if I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will shoot me. To my memory and knowledge, they have only released, I think it's 4 of the GWR ones and 3 of the cross-country ones at the moment. So, but if you're planning on doing a HST rate with these, get hold of the coaches now. because as pass goes, the coaches tend to go pretty quick. So Graham for cross country, but the ScotRail ones will be Tamworth X Country, Piccadilly cross country, and Jeff is the GWR. Gary cross country. So it's a good mixture. So now we've got the trapdoor no gauge. Well, I've actually gone the opposite family model railway. We've got some N gauge to look at tonight as well. So, but it'll all be explained. I do have an N gauge layout. So, right, let's have a look at these coaches. So it's just a little bit of a catch up this evening and have a look at these that have just come out. So let's tell you what, we'll unbox them all, shall we? I'm going to end up with boxes and stuff everywhere. So here's a not very professional unboxing video. So, right, here we go. Right, we don't need that bit. There we go, put that down there for now. Okay, so this one is the TGS. This packaging out of the way. So yeah, this is the, sorry, not TGS, TSD. So this is TSD coach 4811. The retail price on these is £34.99, so they're not cheap. So it'd be good if they're all about £10 as they used to be years ago. But saying that, we picked some of the Batman Mark 2Fs up last week and they're not cheap. No, Oliver has N-gauge. No, I also have some N-gauge. So, as you can notice with this, we're going to take them apart as well. Hopefully not break them. But it's got a very nice, I don't know if you can see, a glossy finish. So it's not a matte finish. There is a matte stripe as the real one with GWR going up there. So if you can see that. We've got the sliding doors which are inset. We've got quite a bit more detail on the bottom of the bogie down here. So it's rather than the old fashioned where they all look the same. So just catching up with your comments. J15 is a nice logo. So right, what's the reason we wanted these? Because obviously we primarily do a 1980s layout. The reason we wanted them is the couplings are different. So I've been working all today and we've made some couplings for these, as some of you may have seen. So we'll be having a look at that shortly. The couplings are attached to the body like the Oxford Mark IIIs, not attached to the bogie. Okay, so it means in a way it can be closer coupled when it goes around corners, because it will protrude out as the coupling moves. You've also got steps on there which you didn't have before. Let me try and see if I can get that closer. Don't know if you can see. The light shines on it because it's so glossy. Okay, and you've also got the vacuum brake pipes, everything underneath. It is a bit of a, I don't know, it's orange, but it's not a nice, personally I'd repaint them over the top. It's like a cheap plasticky orange. So with the bogies, they've painted the springs. You've even got some nice detail on the side, on the windows, and you can see there, well, you may not be able to see, the First Group Company. So that's one of the GWR ones. So I'll place that on the track. So the second coach we got hold of, this one is the, this is the TGS. So that one is coach C. This one is coach, where is it, A. So we only missed the letter B. They were cheap 10 plus years ago. Yeah. So, hi Peter. Hi Richard. So, like I said, it's not a full running live stream this week. We tend to do a fully fledged and then half a stream the week after. But hopefully it should provide a bit of entertainment for you. Okay. That's one thing I noticed. I don't know whether it's true in real life or not. I don't know if you can see, one of the bogies has the, as you can see my layout's not level, has the detail of the orange pipes. I'm not too sure what they're for personally. And then the other one has nothing. So it might be like that in real life. So same again. With this one, we've got the new sliding doors which are inset. But at the end here we've got the original slam doors. So that's the GWR ones. We're going to strip them down in a second and have a look at them because they are a little bit different inside as well. So as you can see with this, that has got the standard coupling on that comes with it. There is quite a gap on it. And it moves if you do that, look. Anyway. So let's move those out of the way for the moment. So this one's my favourite Libby. So this is the cross-country one. So I'm just catching up with everyone's comments. Okay. So the doors may look a little red on camera, but they are more pink in appearance. This is coach F, which is the TS coach, 42342. So evening Graham, hope you're okay. So we're just having a look at Hornby's new Mark 3s. So there's just a couple of them. So evening Sammy, hope you're alright. So it'd be nice if the door slid open. That would be superb, but it's not going to happen. Okay, right, so the same with this. We've got the orange pipework detail on one of the bogie, but not on the other. New couplings, as you can see, that one's got a hunt coupling in for these, so it's a lot less protrusive. So that's one of the cross-country ones. Let's get the other one out. So the next one we've got is the TSD coach. I don't know what they're fully stemmed for personally. It's not the same as what they used to be years ago. So, right, so we've got cross country here, TSD coach to match the lovely livery. So has anyone pre-ordered some of these or pre-ordered the ScotRail ones? So I'm just going to try and move my camera forward a little bit. So as you can see, nice easy coupled. We put the hunt couplings on them. They're on the store now. So if you've pre-ordered some, you can check them out. Closely coupled, and they do work up to third radius. So if we go back to the GWR ones that have got the standard couple, I'll tell you what, I'll flip these round, it'll be easier. So they are a bit far apart with the coupling. So as you can see, when your train's being pulled, you've got quite a sizable gap there. So, possible hybrid cables on bogies to charge on more batteries, may well be. So normally miss a live stream. Well, it's only a short one this week. We're just looking at a few things. There's not much running, I'm afraid. So that's going to be on next week's, where we will be putting the extension on the layout. Okay, so the station extension will be on the West Hill Wagon Works layout next week. So, I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier using these couplings than couple. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do, is take the bodies off and have a look, see what's different inside. I'm just hoping I don't break them on camera. So, popping the bodies off, same as the original Mark 3s. Hopefully quite simple. Yep. So you literally, just where the jacking points are, use that as where your thumbnail goes. You can pop it in, and you can gently pull the chassis out the bottom. So compared to the original Mark 3s, I'm afraid most of mine are out on loan actually, so I haven't got one to compare to, I don't think. Oh, I have. Let's get, sorry, just thought. There we go. Here's one of the original Mark 3s. So you won't be able to tell, but the bogie detail is a lot more substantial. The lighting's not very great, I apologise. But obviously you've also got all the vacuum detail on the pipes. So if we take the original one off, we'll have a look at the insides of both. They do not have buffers fitted, so the buffers are not fitted on these. Just a thought, if you can give it a go, Graham. I wish I had time. So the bottom's come off this, but the inside of the coach has stayed in. So let's see what's different inside the coaches. So this one's obviously the restaurant car, but it's pretty applicable. It's a fairly solid mould inside. You can paint the tables. This mould's been around for quite a few years actually. Let's have a look at see what's different with this new one. It is improved slightly. Okay, so in the new one we have, well, apart from blue to brown, we have brown. We also have seats that have a bit higher backrests on, and the tables are also shaped a bit more correctly. So unlike the old-fashioned ones where it was just a square box, Shamefully, they're not painted tables or seats. But I'm sure it'd be a lot more expensive model if they did that. But one thing I have noticed is the rather than a solid bottom, it's a bit more of a, I don't know if you can see that very well, it's a hollow bottom. So, but the best thing is, the gangway is lower down. So what you can have is a little ticket man walking down, taking your tickets. So rather than having all his legs chopped off like you would on the original one. So they are a little bit different inside. We do have a round shaped cubicle for the toilet, which is like the new ones. There is no detail on that. It is just a single round mould, but you're not going to see great much through them windows. They are quite dark, and when you've got it on the boat chassis, it is quite dark. So hi Enfield. Lighting is on next week's stream, by the way, Talmouth. So hi Lee. Still no leg room. It's an improvement. We can say that. So, is there much difference between them? It's an improvement. It's not obviously as super detailed as the Batman Mark IIFs. So if I get an interior, let me find the Batman Mark IIF for you. Yes, these are slightly expensive. So we have one here. Nicely detailed coach. Let's have a look on the inside of this. There's a couple of things that Batman have gone for that Hornby haven't. Sorry, I'm just trying to open it up without breaking it because these are a bit fragile. So, a hollow bottom. So best not drop a drink or something down. It'll go through the train. So, sorry, just bear with me. I'm slowly getting it apart. I just don't want to break it because these are about. Oh, something's a little bit loose. There we go. That's the window. It's alright. It's me and my opening skills. Okay. So the Batman Mark IIF, you have got painted tables, so you've got a different contrast. You've also got the little divider, as you can see just there, between the carriages, where the Mark IIIs, some of them have them at the ends and stuff, where you don't have that on this. So, but you do have the, I believe it's a wheelchair accessible area. So, but Mark IIFs from Batman, different contrast tables, but it doesn't take much to give them a good paint anyway. So, but it's definitely an improvement. So, is anyone's thoughts on getting these? Are they going to go with the new ones? So as you can see there, nice end couples. You've also got the knuckle coupler, the bit of detail. I don't know if you can see that very well. There is a little knuckle coupler on them. That's fitted as standard as well. Some of the older Mark IIIs, you had to fit them yourself into the bogie. There's a little slot. Well, as you can see there, there's even buffers on this, so you can remove them. But the buffers were not on the HST run coaches. They were on the Mark IIIAs. So, what's the difference between the cross-country one this week? So, we'll put that to one side for the moment. So, let's grab a cross-country one. So, always a bit awkward to uncouple. Stay. Okay, let's pop this one open, and it should have a different colour scheme inside. Hey! A luminous green. So, kind of matches. Is there really that many seats in the Mark III? That's quite compact. It's like a little Chinese factory, they're all crammed together. So, someone may go, yeah, that is right. So, but wow. You're going to need a lot more figures to fill these coaches. Let's have a look at the... so I'm just going to take the screws out the end. They're not clipped on, they're screwed in, these are. From Hornby. Wow, I'm quite amazed if there is that many seats in one of these. So, yeah, it's got the original weight. A little bit bendy on the chassis. Let's not break it. But as you can see, the underneath, well, I suppose it saves on moulding costs maybe in the long run. So, I fancy the cross-country thing. But yeah, that is a lot of seats. It's a good job on hopefully you're not on one of these when you've got COVID-19. Right. Ooh, one thing to be careful of. Do not... I'm going to have to fix this later. Right. These are a bit awkward, the couplings. They've got little springs on, but that little green plate holds them in. So I don't know if you can see that very well. So as soon as you take the green plate off, the coupling just collapses down. Anyway, we'll put that aside for one later. So we've got translucent green and we've got brown. So is the ScotRail going to be grey or blue? Take your bets. So, cattle coach, super cheap seats. 72. I'm not... Actually, go on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. So there's 40 on one side, and then obviously we've got 39 on the other, so 79 seats. Is there really 79 seats on one of these? Wow. Anyway, we'll put that up to the rest in peace drawer up there for the moment. And I'll just put the screws up there as well so I don't lose them. Okay, so I'm not going to take another bottom off, but as you can see they are hollow underneath. And popping the coaches back on, quite nice and simple. Just literally clip it back into the boat, into the chassis. Right. He says, there we go. So that's clipped in place. So we've got some pinkish doors. I don't know if they are, memory serves me right, they are already pink, but these are quite pink actually. Right, they don't have pickups included as well. Unlike things like the Batman Mark IIF where you've got the pickups and everything on them. These, you don't have the pickups. So, shame, but obviously if you get a coach lighting kit, you will have to use the pickups. So, right, I went to get a drink, missed some people. Buses are made the same, cram them all in. So, taking them apart with the hunt coupling, nice and simple. Obviously, the advantage of the hunt coupling, it's supposed to, well it does, it adds reliability on gradients. Plus, you've got quite a gap there as the default. Plus it does that, so as your train goes along, does anyone else's trains do that? It wobbles more than some toys from Ann Summers. So, anyway, if you've got the solid coupling, you can see, you've only got the bogie flex. Okay, right, so if you are interested in those, they're the new ones from Hornby, they're the cross country. And obviously we've got the Mark IIIs as well. So we're going to be having a look at some steam actually next. So I'm going to make a little bit of room on the layout. So let me just make a little bit of room so we can have a look at our little prize for our followers next. Okay. Does anyone recognise this? Mr. Grimm's going to push someone off the top of the car park. Ooh. So does anyone recognise this locomotive? I'm sure everyone pretty much does. Just like a certain rabbit. There you go, I'll put a little workman, he's going to push him off. Okay, so this is the Hornby Flying Scotsman. So this is the railroad version and it includes sound. Now it is TTS sound and you can improve it by some of the speakers. We do one, which we do quite a lot of, which is the TTS upgrade speaker. Makes a huge difference. But it's quite impressive as it is. Fun string, yes, it's just a thingy. No idea what that engine is. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we get inside it. I did take a photo of it, so thank you for everyone that liked it on our Facebook. As you know, some of you know, I do enjoy photography. Right, so we'll move this box out of the way. I'm not gonna... So we've got a plastic little cover. Hey. And behind it, we've got some instruction manuals. So So we've got one for the TTS Sound, A1, A3 class. So for the money, the TTS Sound decoders are brilliant. Like I said, I'm a fan of the Zimmo by far, but the TTS for the money are brilliant. I don't know, we'll be having a look in a second. Falmouth. Lovely rail edition, Scotsman or Scotswoman? Oh no. Well, it says Flying Scotsman on the box, so it's Scotsman now. You get the usual Hornby. Where to lubricate, you can close in the gap on the tender, but if you're using third radius curves or smaller, so third or second or first radius, don't do that. And it also shows you about body removal and maintenance. So that's the one that we're going to need. We're going to look at a couple of things on this as well. We're going to turn up the sound on it. So we've got the sound function list. It goes all the way up to 17. So there's not a lot of sounds, but obviously with there's more generally on diesels. So I know it's you now. Right, so we're going to gently take this out. Some of you are probably going to cringe now. It's probably the best way. Otherwise I will break something. Let's move this packaging out of the way. Okay, so let's pop it on the, where's the main line? Main line's there. One of you, Neil asked about the bogey on it, didn't you? So, let's pop it in here. There we go. Okay, so the axle on the back wheel does actually move side to side. So it is slightly separated. Obviously, you're fixed on there. There's no flange on the mid wheels here. So, I apologise if I get any terminology wrong. I'm not great with steam locomotives. Okay. So for this, the retail price, these are about £109, I believe. So, but this is actually next week's giveaway for one of you lucky winners. Okay. So we're going to have a look at it. So at the moment, as default, it should be, obviously it is DCC. It will work on DC as well. So, Locomotive number 3. If we press number 1, fingers crossed, hopefully it works. So, can you all hear that okay? So, let's switch the camera. And we'll give it a bit of chuff and hopefully it takes off. So I'm just going to break it now and bring it back. Off it goes. So, nice locomotive. So let's have a look at the sound modules. It's not bad for a TTS sounding locomotive. It's not bad. Like I said, speaker will improve it. And we're going to be looking at speakers shortly and the difference between them. So I'm just moving this forward. I'll stop about there. Okay, right, let me, hand of God, sorry. First and foremost, we have a list of each of the functions here. I'm going to read them out, they're a bit small for you to see on camera. Get to pull the Mark 3s. Well, it is for a TTS sound locomotive. So, I don't think the Mark 3s will go with it. Oh well. Let me find one that will. There we go. Oh, what's that? Might be a good idea to put it on the track first. There we go. Okay. So we've got it with a cross-country Mark 3 here. Doesn't she look stunning with that? So, Ironfield, yeah, rails out it for £109.50. It's not bad for that price. So we're going to look at a couple of things. Right. On the sheet in front of us that gives us loads of different CV values, first thing we're going to do, well I'm going to give a try, is I'm going to change the volume of the background steam. So the default value is 4, it can go up to 8. So what I'm going to do is program on the main track, Locomotive 3. And we're going to flick through till it gets to, as the manual says, CV 160. And we're going to pop that to about 7. Okay, let's give that a try. So hopefully that should have turned the volume up a little bit. So you're only going to get it so loud. So a small improvement. So if we turn it up too loud, it'll blow the speaker. You need teaks behind. I do agree, but I don't have any teaks. As you know, I'm mainly 70s and 80s. Okay. Right, so we've got function 1 is obviously your standard sound. Function 2 is your whistle with 4 bursts. Function 3 is whistle with 2 bursts. Function 4 is whistle short burst. How many whistles can you have? Well, you can't say the driver's feeling horny because he needs to be in a diesel for that. Right, function 5 is door slamming, which goes pretty well with the sliding automated doors. Not. So I'm sure that's for your old teak coaches. Function 6 is wheel slip. Like I said, for a cheap decoder, the decoders retail for about £30 odd. In some places you can get them for. It's not bad. So function 7 is coal shoveling. So that's Jim Bob. That's Jim Bob shoveling some coal. I've got loads of teaks, give me. That's brilliant. Function 8, blowdown. So I guess that's when it's releasing all the steam from the boiler. Function 9, safety valve. Okay, they all sound about the same to me. Function 10. That is your injector. Some of you steam fanatics will be able to know more about these than me. Function 11, cylinder cock. So we have to wait for it to... There we go. Function 12 is brake. I know that one. So... Oh, if I do apologise, Matt. So we try our best, but obviously we do state that obviously it is for over 18s on the stream. Okay. Right, F15, couple of clank. And we've got F16, which is fireman's breakfast. I guess that's some bacon frying. And then we have F17, which is toggle sound between chuffing and coasting, but I guess that only works when it's obviously running. So we'll get it running and see if it makes a difference. Yeah, you can hear that's coasting now. Oh. So that's probably my track needs a clean. So if you turn 17, that allows it to coast. Okay. So, nice locomotive. Like I said, in LNER. So this is around the 1930s livery, I believe. So, but it's the most memorable livery by far. So, that's no worries. So, certainly a lot louder. It's a little bit louder, but actually, should we have a go at taking it apart? Chris is going to kill me now. Let's have a go at taking it apart and see what a difference just a £9 speaker makes. Now I believe the speaker is in the tender on this, so let me switch camera so you can see. So, and hopefully I'm not going to break this live. So wishes and prayers for us. That was brilliant, lads. Single iPhone, fair enough, Peter. So, not fan. The only thing with the iPhone, they don't have the chambers as quite as deep. Right, so I've got to try and get this connector out. There we go. Last thing we want to do is break that. Next thing we're going to do is disconnect the tender. Oh, bigger screwdriver might help. So if my hands get in the way, I do apologise. It's a bit hard trying to work around the camera. Like I said, when you're live, anything can go. So just disconnecting it all so we can look at it a bit better. Okay, right, so I'm just going to take the coupling out. So there's usually a screw under there. Yes, there is. Right under there, there's a big screw. So it's a Phillips screw. I'm hoping, because I didn't read the instructions, I did the usual thing I don't do. Well, hey, we have a decoder and a speaker. Oh, see? So if we don't even need the locomotive to run it. How good's that? Yeah, I'll turn the speed up. So right, let me get my soldering iron. I wasn't expecting to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So always solder your connections, and always obviously make sure they are prevent from shorts. Nice simple job fitting a speaker. Well, it is on this one anyway. So I've got my handy dandy soldering iron here. So they put a bit of tape and there should be 2 wires going to the speaker. Okay, I'm just going to knock the track power off just to make sure we don't short anything out. Okay, so we've got the 8-pin socket. So we're just going to remove that out of there. We've got the TTS decoder here. That's all the pickups going to the connections. So we've got 2 for the from the locomotive. There's 4 wires. 2 are pickups going back to the tender, and the other 2 are for the motor, for the drive going back towards the front. Then I'll make it easy. Right, so I'm just going to chop the wires. So it doesn't matter which way they're going to go around in the long run. So with this, we'll have a look. Let's have a look at the speaker that's included. So there's 2 screws holding it in. So it's a little round one, and it's using, supposedly part of this is the chamber and what's behind it. I'm not sure on the wattage. I'm sure it'll be something slightly inadequate. So 8 ohm, 1 watt. That's an improvement. There used to be less than a watt, didn't there? Okay, so 2 wires coming off the decoder. As you can see, I don't know if you can see very well, there is a red and black there. So I'm just going to strip the ends off using my advanced stripping tool, fingernails. The same with the speaker, there's 2 wires on that. So I'm just going to strip the ends off. So it's a bit tougher wire on the speaker. It's got the old ends already pre-soldered, but we don't want that. So I'm just going to strip the ends off there. Let me get some solder. It's a rubbish speaker. Demolition time. So, brave. There, it'll be fine. It's all the fun of going live. So, the track power is turned off because I have burnt out a decoder before by dropping these. as we drop the decoder. I dropped the wires on the track, the output to the speaker. Don't do it, the decoders go puff, trust me. So what I'm going to do is gently twist these together and we'll solder them up in a moment. So that's one side done. It doesn't matter which way the wires go around. I just need a bit more sleeve off this one. Like I said, sorry this week it's just a shortish stream. But it was just a bit of fun and maybe a helpful guide or two. Okay, hopefully the soldering iron has heated up a little bit. I do need to get a new one soon actually. Oh, actually we're going to have to do a timer. Somebody forgot to turn it on. So, Mark 3s look good in the background. Yes, we've just gone through them, Dave. There is a few things. Like I said, the interior in a way has improved. There's a hell of a lot of seats. They're like chicken coops. And they've hollowed out the bottom. But they have lowered the floor, so you can have a conductor or a ticket man or guard in there. This could be interesting. It'd be fine. So, there we go, we're starting to heat up now. It does help if you're trying to turn the soldering iron on. So, what I'm going to do is heat the wire. There we go. I'll trim off any excess in a moment. Heat the wire and then run the solder into it. Right, let me try and find somewhere safe to put my soldering iron, because my stand is the other side. So, I'll be setting fires halfway through the stream. Okay, so I'm just going to trim a little bit of excess off these wires. Okay. Now, you can use a bit of electric tape or a bit of heat shrink. Entirely up to you. Just for the purpose of this, I'm going to use some of that heat conductive tape. So I'm just going to pop these in just so they're insulated just for the moment. So I've shown it on the stream. Okay, so what we're going to do is pop this back in here, and I'll get my glue gun out later and we can fix that in there nicely into the tender. But we're just going to run it for now and hopefully it works. Bear with me. I feel like I've done something wrong. Just check the decoder. Put a new speaker on it. Should done live. There we go. It's me. Obviously didn't push it in enough. So it's, as you can see, it's got quite a bit more bass to it actually. So, a bright tartan. So we'll So, as you can hear, there is an improvement on the sound. It is a little bit louder. So, I don't know if you can hear that. So, right, let's pop it all back together and we'll stick it back in the locomotive. Never do live electronics. It's fine. What's the worst that can happen? So, what I'm going to do for the moment, I will redo this, but I'm just going to use for the moment just some double-sided sticky back tape. So, actually I'll use some black tack just to hold it into place for the moment for you. And I'm just going to put this, because the screws holds a bit of plastic in there, so I'm just going to put one of the screws back in as well. So Hornby have made everything rely on one screw. Sorry, I do apologise, I'm not fully prepared this evening. So I spent half the day doing a barbecue for the wife and kids. Had a good time. So I'm just going to black tack that in there for the moment. I will put it together properly later. I just want to show you it running together. So to clip these back together, it's quite nice and simple. There's a little clip at the front. I don't know if you can see it very well. Pops in the front of the bogie. Clip that down. Screw goes in the back. And let's screw that in. So don't screw it in too tight that you snap the model or anything daft. So we'll put the coupling back on. Let's try and put it back together. Okay, so as you can see, you may be able to see. So just catch up with your thing. Smoke not from engine. So, no, it's fine. Okay. So what we're going to do is gently pop the screw in the back of here. Sorry, I wasn't planning on doing this. I just thought, yeah, stuff it. Let's go for it. It's a bit easier when you're not trying to work around a camera. I'll just make sure it's screwed in well. Gently put the connector back in, because these can break quite easily. So don't just yank them out. There we go. We have one upgraded Flying Scotsman. How good's that? So we'll have a go with it on the layout. There we go. And yeah, I'll put the Cross Country Mark III coach with it. Okay. Oh, I didn't put the trailer on wrong. What have I not done right? Oh. It's alright, there's 4 wheels on our trailer. Kind of forgot that. Sorry, I do apologise. This happens when I go live. Yes, it's definitely got more bass. No, it hasn't got an input for the synchro sensor. So it is a Hornby TTS sound chip. But like I said, you can improve them quite a bit. Yeah, I'll pop this out of the way. So, but hopefully you can hear an improvement. Try and match the movement with sounds. Some more expensive decoders do match up a lot better. So anyway, what I'm going to do is put the tender back together properly for you anyway. So we're going to be running a competition out on that, so keep an eye out on our Facebook page and our YouTube. There will be a video going up on YouTube for you to enter to obviously win the A3 or the Flying Scotsman. So pop that out of the way for the moment and let's go on with the next thing. So right, I'll put all these together. I'll keep the speaker with it as well. Let's pop that together. So, has anyone got is that a screw in the front coupling? No, it's a hunt coupling. Not used to steam engines, are I? No, I'm not. I'll admit that. Something a bit better like this, definitely. Where are we? So, something a better like a nice 66 or something, definitely. So, I need to get a new yard lamp. It's took too many bashes. Right. Let's have a look at, well, speaking of speakers, we can have a look at different ones, actually, while we're here. So, like I said, next week I'm going to do a running session, and I'm going to put the station part of the layout on as well. Right, so here's my, I won't say trusty, but my decoder little test board. So if I'm working on some stuff in the house or away from the layout. So it has two inputs for if I'm in here, for programming, track and everything, but I can just use crocodile clips. Okay, what I've done, I've got a class 37 sound decoder. So this, just here, this is a lock sound one on the decoder test board. 66s are growing on you. Lights on the signal box. I did those, Dave. So 66s definitely do grow on you. Right. Every Bachmann sound fitted locomotive comes with, well, we'll have a look at the difference. One of these. We just put up on the West Hill store two new speakers. I'm just going to be showing them to you so you can see the difference. So let me turn the track power off before I do this. We're not going to blow any decoders today. So I'm just going to plug a standard speaker in, and I'll show you the different speakers that we've done. So there is one coming out for the Class 08 as well. So if you've got a Hornby Class 08 or a Bachmann Class 08, they are two different speakers, but there will be one coming out for it. So I'm not going to be soldering these, I'm just going to be twisting them together just while we're on the live stream. So how many of you have got factory sound fitted locomotives? There's many of you that do have. Give me a closer look at them later. Yeah, we'll do, Dave. It's no worries. Right, so I'm just going to use a bit of tape around these just before I blow the decoder up, and then you lot laugh. Always insulate before you put it on the track. Okay, so standard speaker is this one here. We're going to keep it away from the track as well. I'll just use a bit of black tack on the front here. And yeah, we'll pop this on. So Locomotive 137. This is the standard speaker that usually comes with your Bachmann sound fitted locomotives. Okay. So as you can hear, it sounds, but obviously as the locomotive picks up, there's just no bass to them. All mine are sound Peter. So these are the standard that you get fitted with your sound locomotives. So it's not, it's a little bit tinny. Okay, now for a few weeks we have been doing the TTS sound upgrade speakers, which we fitted to the Flying Scotsman. We've had these for a while, not got around to sorting them. We actually have the bigger twin speakers. Okay. We also have a shallow twin speaker, so if you've got a class 20, so these are two speakers in one, twin, 8 ohm, these do not work with TTS sound decoders because there's not enough power for them to output to these speakers. If you put a twin speaker on your TTS, it will blow. So please note, we have put a note on the website. This one's obviously a twin speaker in a chamber. Now, many of you may have noticed, when you take your, say, class 37 apart, you may see that it's rounded at one end. So what we've done, it's rounded and moulded, as you can see there, just to slot in at the top of your class 37. If you've got a class 20 or a class 40, you will need the shallower speaker, like this one here, the twin speakers. But The drivers are generally the same. They've just been made in different enclosures. So, end scale, yes, end scale. You obviously we've got some N gauge in a minute actually, so keep on for that one. So, as you heard the difference with the standard speaker, let's try the twin, and hopefully there should be a difference there. It says hopefully because we're doing this live. So they're easy to fit into your locomotives. If you do need help, you can even video call us. We will try and do a one-on-one and help you where possible. So these are to go with Locksound and Zimo chips. These are Locksound 4 and 5s, and your obviously all Zimo decoders. The older Locksound 3s, you have to be careful because they use a 100 ohm speaker. So you pretty much have to stay with some of the smaller power speakers. The roof fans for these to fit, it depends on the locomotive. The 37 on that one I did, but on that one, no. So, no, not the 37. On the 20, this was really tight. That's why we've done that. The 37, this one just slots in with the rounded part, Dave. Okay, let me insulate my work before we go bang. So, honestly, we do recommend soldering, but I don't want to keep soldering and unsoldering while we're on live. Okay, right, we've not got a puff of smoke, so that's good. So, hopefully you can hear a difference. So let's give. So, yeah, the competition is going up on the YouTube. It'll probably be up tomorrow night. We've got something else for you. So this is the 37 trundling along. So that fits in the speaker. So it's an improvement. So, and that's with just the Locksound. This was a Locksound 4 that came with a Bachmann 37. So, see you later. See you, Bri. So, years of practice. So, just catching up with everyone's comments. So, big difference. Obviously, there's many different ones, but we made those the cheapest possible, $13.95. So that's for 2 speakers, and makes quite a bass difference. So, like I said, those will fit in the 37. If you've got less room, we've obviously got the 158 one as well. I can't show you that because it's in my 158. But we do have the slimmer one. So if you've got something like the Class 20, which has not got much room inside and generally has just a standard speaker, you can fit that in there. They're only 7mm deep. So these are 10mm, but that's all the way to the base, and you've got 2mm on the curvature. So that curve is 2mm deep to slot in the locomotive. So my 37's, I don't know where I've put it. I put it somewhere safe. There we go. So you do have to tidy the wiring up a bit. You can't do much about that. But as you see in the top of the locomotive there, there's a little ingress that it fits into. So recommend you move the wiring to one side. It is generally all loose like this. You can then slot your speaker in that little ingress just there. So it is designed to fit in them. So that's no worries, David. So right, second thing, right, let's go. So I'm going to take this decoder off for the moment. All will become apparent as we're going to have a look at something else that we've got. Got a new toy. So thought we may as well show it for you. I have Locksound In O-Gauge 08, if you change the speaker there, yes it would. The speaker makes a huge difference. So, definitely makes a difference. The standard speakers, obviously, manufacturers try to work to a price. So, right, I'm just going to bring the camera out a little bit. I've gone small. Engage Dapol HST. Now, there is a reason we have this. Obviously, as you know, we manufacture the hunt couplings. It is for that and for the testing for our display stand that's going to be at exhibitions. And I'm going to fit some decoders in it. I just want to have a look, and I thought you might like to have a look too. So, tell you what, we'll move this out of the way slightly while we unbox. Let me move the programming track and then we'll bring it back, because I do have an Engage track on there. So, does many of you model in Engage? Oh, 1 second. If you still have the a Chopper's fan, you can glue. Yeah, you can. With the chopper, you would need to glue the fan to the underneath. If you want to paint the speaker black, then you can do, so you can't see, and then you can. Where are we? Let me get the decoder. So the underside of the speaker, it doesn't matter which way it goes around, because the sound goes into the enclosure, not out. So if that's upside down, you can glue obviously the speaker on top if you don't have enough room. None of my choppers seem to have any fans. I think it's some of the older ones that do. Yes, the Engage are coming. So just in testing, do have quite a few Engage bits. Several of them are my lads. This one's mine. No doubt it'll end up his eventually. So, what do you get different from a Hornby set? So this was 180 something pounds, then I got a discount, so I think it came to about 160 pounds. So, it's cheaper than a Hornby Super Detail HST, and you get 2 coaches. Hey. So I didn't have much of a choice in the livery. It was the only one that was available, and I just went, yeah, I'll take it. So we get a little detail bag. With that you get some additional couplings and disc brakes. And you also get, what are they? Oh, Buckeye couplings for the front. I picked it in on the railway. It's what I've been waiting for, lad. Continental Swiss, bro. So Piccadilly's in N as well. Brilliant. So, like I say, it's my first time actually with an Engage Locomotive. So we're going to have a look, and we'll pop these out. So we've got some Mark IIIs, and the best thing is, unlike the new Hornby Mark IIIs, these actually have pickups as well. There's pickups built in. So we've got 2 coaches, one TGS and one restaurant, or buffet car, whatever you want to call it. We have a non-powered trailer, which obviously in real life would be powered, and we have the motor trailer here. Okay, you also get, what do you get in a HST, how to break it apart. I suppose if you lose any bits, you can get the part numbers and Dapol and ask for replacement. So for the windows, showing the exposed gears, how to maintain it, and your blanking plug. Now it is a 6-pin decoder, and you do need 2 of them. Now, do recommend good quality decoders, and I'll show you the difference between a good and a not great one. But I had to buy this, not in choice. Good decoder. These are Bachmann's. There we go. That'll make you all dizzy. These are Bachmann's 6-pin decoders. These are Zimmo decoders. Okay, so it does state it on the packaging as well. It's a rebranded Zimmo decoder. Good bit of kit. Good quality decoder. Now, there was only one. I could only get hold of one of these. There seems to be some kind of mad shortage on decoders. So, bye Graham. There's no worries. So yeah, there seems to be some kind of mad shortage on decoders. So, I ended up having to buy one of these. Hornby do a 6-pin decoder. Don't recommend it. They don't run great. They say it's used for the Peckets, but it's also suitable for Engage locomotives. Good price point, but just spend the extra £2 and get a good quality decoder. So, but what I'm going to do with this, we're going to put the good quality decoder in the motor car, and we're going to put the, in my opinion, I'm not going to say thingy, the not so great quality decoder into the passenger car. So, best decoders ever. So, Zimmo decoders are good. This is a Batman one. Who was Batman made before by then? They were generally ESU. They had one chip, what model was it? 36557, a 21 pin chip, and it used to buzz like mad. Made a huge difference running. There's a Everard Junction video on decoders. Just type Everard Junction decoders in YouTube, and it says like, "Our budget decoder's really worth it." I think that was the title. Trust me, it's worth spending that little bit extra and getting a good decoder in the long run. Right, best thing with Engage. Hopefully, I'm not going to break this. Popping the decoder in is quite nice and simple. So the body, I believe, just clips off. I should have read the instructions, shouldn't I? That's where I'm going to break it. There we go. Hey. So, the cam does have directional working lights, I believe. We'll find out in a moment. There's a little plug on there connecting that. There's pickups on all the wheels. There's even a hole for a motor. So if you can get a motor and some axles and some gears, I suppose you'll be able to make both powered. So you've got our DC blanking plate in there, as you can see. Braking is bad. Not break apart, it's take apart. Fair enough. I'll stick with that, Human City. Okay, so I'm just going to pop the blanking plate in. Take note of where pin 1 is, which is on the far right hand side. There is numbers on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm just going to gently ease this out, and we'll put it in the box. So that's your blanking plate. That is not a decoder. That's your blanking plate. Right, so it seems though this is not the driving car. We're just going to nominate the Hornby for it. I think we can't even get the packaging. There's no little tear. Alright, just use your teeth. Where? They made it impossible to get in. Let me find some scissors. Where's my scissors all snipped? That'll do. Knife will do it. Here's where I put another hole in my hand. Okay, so this is not a sound decoder. Now, pin 1 is labelled with the little bit of Tipex. So you can see they've put a little bit of Tipex on for your convenience. So we're going to pop that gently in there. And then I believe we're going to have to mount the decoder. I don't think there's much room. So we're going to have to mount it at the back here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this tape on just to insulate it. So, take care, Peter. So, like I said, Engage isn't for some, and it's new to me. So, but my lad does have a working Engage layout, and I'll tell you what, I'll put it on the live stream next week. Okay, right. So we pop that in the back there. There is a bit of room in the back there. I want to clip this gently back in the front. I think the smaller they get, the more fragile they get. So there's a little clip that just clips in. Right, can you all hear me? It's alright, the internet cut out. Can you all hear me okay? Things are moving again. Woo. So I don't know why the internet cut out. So I just wanted to get, yes, yeah, we're back. I had to reboot my internet, I do apologise. It had a moment. So I'll clip it round with a hammer later. Anyway, as we were saying. So I do apologise about that, just internet connectivity issues for some reason. So, going back, Engage HST running lovely and smooth, as you can see there. Now it does have directional lights, so if I put 0 on, we have one front light, and then if we go in reverse, we have 2 reverse lights on there. So there is no cab lights or anything, because obviously the 6-pin function doesn't allow it unless you wire additional. So hopefully this should be Locomotive 3 as well. Yes, we have some lights. So if I change direction, the lights are working. Obviously this car does not run, it's just for the lighting function. And I should have got some longer track really. So we can only go from one small bit to another. Engage is so big. It's so big I can only go that far on the track. So I will get it running next week. So sorry about the interruption anyway. So but we appear to have lights running. So if I go that way, yes, it has been wired correctly by Dapol. So you haven't got to change what's called CV29 on that. Yeah, super high speed run. That's as far as we can go. So I just thought you'd like to just have a look at it. It's quite detailed really, especially for Engage. Bogies have got quite a good bit of movement in it, and it runs well. So give it to it does run really well. It's got all the pickups and everything. So we'll be showing that off in the next couple of weeks anyway. It's so small. Anyway, let's have a look at the next thing we're here to do as well. So we're going to go back to 00 gauge now, I'm afraid. Go faster and I can maybe jump the gap. Let's not bring that up, we have done something, we've had a bit of fun before, should we say. So let's have a look, compared to N-Scale. Yeah, look at the size of a N-Scale Mark 3. 00. I know they say they're supposed to be half the size or something. Is it supposed to be half? I suppose it is in a way. It's half the length and then you've got the width, and it's tiny. So, great if you've not got much room anyway. So I'm just, sorry, just checking out on these. Right. M gauge, same loco pack from Dapol. It's my best running train, so I guess they are good locomotives then. Right, I've got to have a look at this thing. It's a bit broke. Right, so this is Chris Hunt's. Okay. Where have I put the foam? There we go. So it's not mine. This has been given to me to repair. It needs a little bit of work doing on it. So, and to do this, we're going to need a little bit of persuasion and some glue. Now, Hornby 08s have thinner rods. So this one's a Bachmann 08 to go next to it. As you can see, the rods are a lot thicker. So the Hornby one is more prototypical, but the Bachmann one, the rods are thicker and they tend to last a lot longer. So it's so interesting to me that in the UK, Engage and 00, in US it's N-Scale and HO. And the couplers are well different. Yes, they are. Couplings have been an absolute mind scale for us. So, but we are, like I said, that's the first couplings that are coming out will be for the Mark III sets. So, and then we'll be working on the wagons and things like that. So, we're going to be moving the Bachmann one out of the way, and we need to get this fixed. So it's quite a nice simple fix with this. Chris will probably go, I should have done that myself. Okay. One problem with the Hornbys is, just like other manufacturers of moving axle boxes, should we say, it tends to just pop off, which isn't a good thing. But the problem is, if it pops off, it jams. Okay, so when it jams, the decoder then heats up, and then eventually they go poof, or they catch fire, like the issue with the one we had a while ago. So, what's that, sorry? Because it's closer to the camera. Strange, the 187 scale bigger I haven't got any 187, that's HO. So, anyway, the first thing we've got to do is we have to distinguish that these wheels here are not driven. They are actually just, unlike the Bachmann version, they are just propelled by obviously the bar link. Okay, so what we're going to do is, just so you can see a bit easier, I'm going to pop the screws out. Don't worry, I'm not going to lose them. Two. So I know Chris is watching, so he's probably watching with an eagle eye where his screws are going. Oh, they lost one. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, this shaft here is driven with a cog. I don't know if you can see that too well. Then these two are just propelled and are loose. The first thing we've got to do is get the bar on one side straight. So what it's done, when it's gone round, this has come off, this loose bar on the other side. It's just popped off, as you can see. And it's allowed the other side to propel all the way round. What we've got to do is, firstly, just gently, with these, pop these round, just like so. So you can see it locked up like that. So first thing we want to do is just pop them round, like so there. Now because they're equal and level, we will be able to get this side equal, but we need to put a little bit of glue fixing on there. So what I'm going to recommend to do, has anyone else had this with Class 08s? Why is the Bachmann 08 longer in length? I don't think it is actually. It may well be very slightly. One sec. I had a Bachmann 08, I've just put it down. There we go. No, in length it is pretty much the same. There is a very slight difference. I think the Hornby is actually very slightly longer. Only very slightly. So, but they are, the top one's the Bachmann. Maybe just the camera angle, but no, they are the same length. Only a very slight difference. So what we're going to do is gently, using some kind of applicator, whether that's a small brush or something, we'll try and find one. Ta-da! I'm going to use a little bit of super glue. This is obviously different glues use a small applicator, so you don't get it everywhere. This is a gel glue. So, because obviously runny glues end up absolutely everywhere. Personally, do prefer the gel-based glue. So this is a recommendation for the Hornby 08s, just like the Bachmann 66, not Bachmann, Hatton 66s. Glue your axle boxes back on. So we don't want to make any glue so the wheel sticks to the chassis. So just making sure that we've got enough so it settles over, like so. Then we're just going to very, very gently just pop this back in place. If I can get it round right. There we go. And then I'm just going to give it a very gentle push on, not squeezing too hard, just so it's nicely fixed to the wheel. Now this is actually a really stunning locomotive, so that'll start to set in seconds. The reason it's stunning is, oh man, it's brave live on air. So best to remove the brass plug. Don't get glue on the rods. Now I'll put the bottom back on shortly. Okay, so Locomotive 8. So this has sound as well as lights, which is quite interesting. I'll get a different camera angle on it so you can see. So if we press function 0, don't know if you can see that very well. There we go. You should be able to see the red. So I'll turn them off. And then I'll turn them on. See how they gradually come on and gradually come off. This is fitted with a Zimmo sound decoder. Okay. And then we crank it up. Then hopefully we should be rolling. There we go. We managed to not glue the wheels together. So it's got the braking function. You can see one of our drivers there. That's the Class 08 driver. You can get them left or right-handed. So the Hornby one has an opening door, and you also have an opening roof vent as well, where the Bachmann one is a fixed door. So as you can see, the Bachmann's a fixed door, it won't open, where the Hornby one does open. And then we can go along. Then with the Zimmo decoder you can use function 2 and it'll brake. Brilliant! So leave that to settle. I'm going to put the bottom back on shortly, and I think both are valid. I like the engineer. Well, that on the Hornby 08s you can get that. I don't think you can get it on the N scale 08s. Imagine trying to get a figure in a little N-gauge 08. Oh, the doors are tiny, aren't they? So when you've got a little door about that big. Nah. So, don't forbid. Right, sorry, it's clearing my throat. Okay. So we'll pop that one out of the way. We're going to leave that to dry, and then I'll put all the bottom back together. And then that can go back to the owner. I do have some other locomotives that I'm repairing at the minute. I've just changed some wheels on a 47. I'm waiting on delivery of a decoder for it. And I have, just sorted a 37 as well for someone. So try and help where possible. So Jason, Stuart, Dave, no idea. So it probably went off when it cut off. So imagine painting an N-gauge figure. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Right, I'm going to wish to obviously just say thank you for everyone for watching. Now, I was having a clear out and I found something. Does anyone model around, I don't know, 1940s to 1960s era? Parkside 00 gauge model, a little bit of a wagon kit, but the most important thing, you get some Westhill wagon works water slides in there as well to put on your wagon. So, a little bit of a thing to keep one of you quite happy during this lockdown period. That's going to be going up on a competition tonight on our Facebook Facebook. Okay, so there'll be a competition. Those of you who have watched the video tonight so far will have an advantage, because it will be a question from tonight's video, and then the winner will be picked on Monday night. Okay, so Monday night, a little bit of a competition. It's nothing much, that one. Like I said, we are going to be running the Flying Scotsman. That competition will be going up on Sunday. So, Ollie, sorry I'm late. Yeah, it's fine. So you just missed a bit of N-gauge, Ollie. Missed a bit of N-gauge and me doing a few brave things on live stream. So, right, just wish to say, obviously it's getting to 9:30. 1 second, we've got the next bits. Oh, there is something for you actually, Chris. Right, I'll grab it out for you actually. There's one more request that I got asked. Last week we did a little programming session on programming DCC locomotives. We went through it on the Gauge Master, but not the Bachmann. So some people have the Bachmann Dynamis, and Chris Huddin did ask me for it. I'm in love with O-gauge now. N-gauge can be a little bit stressful. Nah, we're all like each other really. So here we have a Bachmann Dynamis. I do also have the base station down here. It's been here all video. Okay, we're just going to have a look about some of the settings we put on last week. Let me just get this working. Oh, you have to turn the track power on these. Batman Dynamics by ESU. Right, I'm going to have to move this up here so it receives the signal. So, as soon as you push and hold the stop button, it cuts straight off. Okay, so we have a Dynamis here. I'm just going to find a Locomotive. Let's say this class 66. Okay. I'm dreading when we get T and Z gauges. Press pause live, Chris. So, we've not set fire to anything tonight. Like I said, we only do these. We do these in live streams, obviously, to keep you informed, have a bit of fun. Obviously, it's not the most serious here at Westhill, and things do occasionally go wrong as well. Okay. So, Batman Dynamics. Last week we went through some CV settings. They're up on the screen now for you. So these were picked out obviously from DCC Concepts that spent a long time, and I've tested several of these and absolutely brilliant settings to use. Now, we went through it last week, showed you how to do it on the Gauge Master, but Chris asked politely if we can go through it on the Batman Dynamics. Okay, so what we're going to do first is, let me pop that off the screen. I'm going to need to put that back on for me to read it in a moment. So, first thing we're going to do is select Locomotive 66. So to do that, there's a little button down here that's got two locos. I'm hoping you can see this well. Let me go close as I can with the camera. So, Locomotive, and then we just press 66. One thing to note with the 128 sound chip, send me a message after and I'll talk you through different things, because it depends on the loco and everything as well. ECOS, brilliant upgrade. So everyone has their own preference. I use the not Batman Dynamis. This is my lads. Okay, pretty limited for me because it only goes up to function 20 on sound files. So if you've got something with 28 functions, you can't use it. You can through the computer software. Right, I use the Gauge Master. The reason I'm using it is wireless. It is an exhibition layout we have, and obviously we've been to several exhibitions. And having these, when you've got 4 operators or 3, it means you don't cross wires with each other. So I stay with these. The batteries last all day, and you don't end up. I've dropped them all sorts. Okay, so the first thing we've done is selected Locomotive 66. If we put that on speed 1, you can see it's moving. Knock it down, we can change direction, and we can see that's moving that way. Now, programming CVs on these. If I remember rightly, so if I get this wrong, I'm live again. Okay, there's next to the Locomotive button, we've got a menu button. Right, 1 second. Edit symbol. Sorry, just bear with me. There we go. Right, so you press the Locomotive button and you go all the way to the right until it says Program and the Locomotive number. Okay, so on there it says Program 66. Press Enter. Right address on main track. No, we don't want that. If we flick to the right, right address on service track. No. Read address on service track. No. Program on service track. No, because this is on the main track. Program 66 on the main track. Yes, please. So there's a little tick box there. Okay. So the first thing that will come up is program what CV, and you'll see it flashing there. Okay. So you can see that flashing there. First thing we're going to do is look at our sheet. So this is a class 66. We're going to class it as a heavy freight. Okay. And we are going to, first thing we're going to do is set CV2 to 2, which is the start voltage in the motor. There is a sheet on this. It is on our Facebook site with all the settings and what they're for, and you can pick it up on the internet. So I'm going to set CV2 to the value of 2, so that's our start voltage. So CV number 2, and it even picks up start voltage there. Okay, and then we're going to enter the value. Oh, 1 second. What have I done? There we go, CV2. then there's a button there that says value. I do apologise. So the value we're going to set to 2 as well. Okay, and we're going to say program. Okay, that's done that. So as soon as that's done, so they're quite fiddly to use these. There we go, CV. Right, so now we go back here, and the next thing we're going to do for this heavy express, we're going to set CV3 to 18. Now CV3, as you can see on the screen there, is the acceleration rate. So we're going to set CV number 3, and it comes up ACC, it picks it up for you. Switch to value, and we're going to set that to 18. Okay, and we're going to hit program. So that'll program, give it a second. Now switch back the CV button here. And then we need to change the CV to the next one, which is CV4, which is the deacceleration setting. So our deacceleration setting for this heavy freight is 24. So that's how well it slows down. So if you've got a lot of freight on the back, you're going to want a slower setting, aren't you, for it to slow down. So we're going to put in 24, program. Give that a couple of seconds. There's no like acknowledgement on these, that's the one thing I do miss. So next thing we're going to do, switch back. So the value is this button here. Switch back. So program CV number. Let's go to heavy freight. So CV5. Now obviously, as you can see, CV5 is the maximum voltage of the motor, and we want to set that on to 96. So CV number 5. So V high, it's picked that up. So we're going to set the value to 96. So 96, program. Give it a moment. There we go. Now we can switch to the mid voltage. So like I said, some decoders this doesn't apply. Check in your manual first. Some work it out automatically. Depends on your decoder. I think these are mainly newer lock sounds that do it automatically. So this has got a lens decoder in. So the mid point we're going to set at 40. So 40 and program. Okay. So we'll give that a moment. There we go. Right. Now I'm going to just that's how you do it on the Dynamis. So obviously if there's anything else, Chris, just drop us a message. We'll gladly help. So with the programming on the Dynamis, you just need to go at the bottom of the menu to select it. Obviously you can play this video back after we've done. So let me move this all out of the way. And hopefully on our thingy system, that's better. So we've got a nice slow running locomotive. I tell it to turn the speed up, it takes a while for it to accelerate. So we did cover this in detail last week. Obviously I was just doing that for Chris so he could see. So as you can see, I've turned it down to 0. The locomotive is still coasting, just like it would like it's got a heavy load behind it. Does help if you put it on the track properly as well. So, no, not the CVs up to 28. The CVs you can change completely. The functions, so some sound decoders require you to go to function 28. Now if you've got the computer software that comes with it, with the Dynamis Ultima, you can use that. So settings are on all decoders, Anita. I'll pop it up on the Facebook, all of this. So check out our Facebook page later tonight. I'll pop it up on there for you with the settings, and if you do need any help, just drop us a message. Just let us know what controller you've got, that's not a problem. So that's it. Video love. So good night, Growler. Right, I'm gonna obviously head night. Sorry it wasn't a proper live stream this week, it was just a look at things, should we say. There was not a running session. Obviously we had a quick look, just a reminder, at the new Mark 3s, okay, from Hornby. So these are the Oxford Rail Mark 3s, and stunning livery. I do like the cross-country livery, and we have made the hunt couplings. They're available on the westillwagonworks.co.uk store for those. Okay, so as you can see, they're a lot closer coupled, and you can just pull them apart. Easy. So, that's no worries. Right, well, I've just got a couple of, obviously that. There's a couple of messages which I've been knocking together. So, a couple of people have messaged me. So, I'll reply to them shortly. Okay, there's one thing I did come across. I became a member of a group. Okay, let me pop it up. Not just a Facebook group, this is the actual website. Okay, so this is railwaymodelers.com. Now, as some of you may have seen, there is a railwaymodelers.com Facebook group, but they also run a website, which is a almost like a society as well. On that website, you can obviously become a member, and with that, you get access to free downloads that you can print off of things like, this is in association with Scale Model Scenery. You can get all buildings, stations, I don't know, there's garages, there's all sorts of stuff on there, and it's free as well. So once you join on as a member, there is obviously a yearly or monthly subscription. Not just with that, you also get access to help from a lot of modelers, and you also gain other access. So what you can do, you can actually gain points on the site by writing articles every time you log in, every time you comment, help someone else. So if you help someone else, you gain points. Now, over time, with them points, they add up quite soon as well. You can then obviously spend that on the Scale Model Scenery store, which is brilliant. So you can get yourself a free, I don't know, you can get yourself a free building or anything like that in the long run. Some of the new catenaries, things like that. Okay. They've structured the site, so you've got all help with the Need To sections. There's a load of articles wrote on there as well. Exclusive how-tos, step-by-step tutorials. Like I said, there's the download sheets, cheat sheets. There's also a head start on your railway projects on there as well. And like I said, with everything that you do, you get 600 points as soon as you sign up that you can spend immediately. Okay, so you can spend that with the Scale Model Scenery. The store's integrated with it. And every time you write an article or help someone else out, you gain points as well to obviously spend yourself. So if you can help someone else, you can be rewarded for it. So, sorry. Yes, it is a Scale Model Scenery site. So catching up with your comments now. So post is a nightmare. Yes, post is definitely a nightmare, but you've got to appreciate the workers out there. So, what the fuck's that green thing? It's a Class 70. You definitely know that one well. So I just wish to say thank you. Sorry, it's not like I said, a full-fledged live stream. It was just a look at stuff, and we had a look at the Mark IIIs. Like I said, there's a competition going up for this. So. This is the Parkside Models. It's a 4mm, 12-ton van-wide van. That's going to be going up on our Facebook site tonight. And those that you have watched the live stream have got an advantage of winning that as well. So, yes, it is a sister. So it is an association with. So, right, if there's any other questions, you can drop us a message. You can find, obviously, you can email us, huntcouplings@outlook.com. You can obviously pick up your hunt couplings, as well as some of the speakers, well, all the speakers that we're showing this evening. As many of you saw, they were an improvement. And the competition for the Flying Scotsman will be going up on Monday. So, just wish to say a big thanks. Sorry it was a little bit of a different stream this evening. And we didn't set fire to anything. That's the lucky part, should we say that? So, how many points for an O-gauge loco? Well, they don't do O-gauge locos. They do a lot of O-gauge kits, though. Yes. So, that's no worries, Gary. So, if there's anything you do need help, just feel free to drop us a message. Or go onto the railwaymodelers.com website. You'd be amazed what you can find on there as well. So, right. I'm going to head off out and take care. And I'll see you all. We'll have a fully fledged live stream running session next week. There is a few announcements next week. We'll be showing you, let me just part these away. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to fit a coach lighting kit with Stay Alive that we will be doing. They are back, so the cheap coach lighting kits are coming back, and they've also got Stay Alive, so you can pick it up off the track and you can still see the lights are on in there as well, so you don't get any flickering. We did a load of these last year. We've been meaning to bring them back. We've just not had chance. So, but they are coming back. and we'll be showing you how to fit those. Well, we'll fit one in the GWR new Mark IIIs maybe. So love the engage bit. So like I said, sorry if it's been a bit all over tonight, and I apologise about the stream cutting out. I don't know why I did that. So no worries. Anything at all, just drop us a message. Check out our Facebook page, and obviously the competition up for the wagon will be up there, and the Flying Scotsman will be coming onto YouTube. That should be up by either tomorrow or Monday. So make sure you subscribe to keep in with that. You've all got a chance to win. It's all going to go in. It's all going to go in a hat like last time, or not a hat, a clear box. Read each of your names out, and then one of you will be picked at random. So take care. No worries. Need lighting in mine. Well, it's all coming. So stop if it winds still by. Right, take care, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you.